we start recording? Progress? Does that mean it's recording? Oh. Good morning. My name is Joe Leclerc. I'm convening the December 19th, 2024 zoning hearing officer meeting here in 455 County Center, room 101. And we're also convening via Zoom. If you would please join me in Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So the first item on our agenda is a public comment period, where folks who want to comment on things that are not on our agenda have an opportunity to provide that comment. So if anybody either here in the room or on the Zoom would like to provide some public comment, please raise your hand or fill out a speaker sheet. And this again is for items not on the agenda. And if you're on Zoom, Ted will explain to you how to provide your comment. Is there anyone who would like to provide public comment?
We don't have anyone at the moment, Jim.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll move on to our regular agenda. So today we have one item on our agenda, and Ted, can you please read that into the record?
Planner, Sunal Agrawal. Owner, Clara Fattinger. Applicant, Clara Fattinger. File number PLN 2024-00162. Location, intersection of Alta Mesa and Alta Loma. APN number 036-142-170.
Thank you very much. So, Sonal, would you please present the project?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonal Agarwal, and I'm the project planner of PLN 2024-00162, which is a kennel permit and a CDP for dog walking and day boarding at ABN 036-142-170, located at the intersection of Alta Mesa and Alta Loma Road.
Trying to advance.
Yeah,
Just hit the space bar.
okay. It's not working.
Oh. No screen share.
Okay, sorry, now it's working. So the application before you is a consideration of a kennel permit and a CDP pursuant to San Mateo County Ordinance Chapter 6.20 and 20B, Section 6328, to allow an outdoor dog daycare to use for a maximum of 10 dogs on a vacant parcel at the intersection of Alta Mesa Road and Alta Loma Road. The CDP is appealable to California Coastal Commission and was found to be exempt from CEQA under Section 15303 Class 3C, related to projects not involving significant amount of hazardous substances and does not exceed 2,500 square feet in floor area. The parcel legality was established through a COC Type A application under PLN 2017-00094. So on this slide is the project location. As you can see on the right-hand side, the project site is a irregular shaped lot, which is narrower in the front and it gets broader at the back. It is located off of Devil's Slide Bypass, which is a Caltrans right-of-way. It wraps around Alta Mesa Road and Alta Loma Road, which are private roads not maintained by the county. And the flagpole portion, which is a narrow 35 feet wide portion of the lot, does not have vehicular access because it is very steep, and the site is actually quite vegetated with trees. and it slopes up as you go from Devil's Slide bypass to Alta Lower. There will be 2 parking spaces provided on site. Anybody who wants to access the site will have to go around Alta Mesa Road, Alta Loma Road, and the access to the site will be from the Alta Loma Road. So vans will have to drive around and park for this business on site. And to the bottom right corner, you can see how the Slide bypass looks right now. And on the bottom left corner, there's just an aerial of how the site looks in context with other properties surrounding.
I'm sorry, can you go back to this? Just trying to grok the. So that's the Caltrans right of way, that big wide green swath. And it does, so it, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And I can always come back to this
Sure.
in case of questions. So for the project, there are no new buildings proposed. The existing site contains a shed, 2 water tanks, 1 pump house, 1 solar panel, and 1 coral, which is not used. The use involves dog walking for 10 dogs at a maximum at any one time. The dogs will be walked on 3 routes around the site, which I can show in the next slides. There will be 4 part-time employees at maximum involved with this business. Hours of operation will be primarily from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, the dogs will be picked up from their own houses between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and dropped off to their houses by between 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. by the employees and the owner of this business. There will be no visitors that will be coming to the site, and site is completely fenced. So only during 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. dogs will be actually present at the site. At that time, they will be actually walked around the site. They will not be fed at the site. There will be access to bottled water for employees and for dogs. And all dogs will be fed at their home in the morning and in the night after they are dropped off from the site. So this site plan actually shows what is there right now and what how the business actually currently operates. As you can see, the narrow flat portion is in the front. It is fenced twice, one in the front and one there is interior fence as well, 4 feet fence. The whole site actually goes slopes up. So there are multiple trees, tall trees, which are present in between all of this area. As you drive to the back, you will come across a swing gate that opens, and there are parking area at the back. There are storage cabinets, 1 shed, and then there are 2 dog yards, which are probably used for the business. Dog yard A, which is a little bigger than dog yard B. The coral is in the center, and there are 2 water tanks located at the back. Here are some real life pictures of the site. As on the top left corner, you can see the site is fenced. The water tanks can be visible at the back, and there's a gate which swings and opens, and all cars related to the business will be parking on site. Then Alta Loma Road is visible on the bottom left corner. The current situation of Alta Loma Road, it's unpaved and it's a private road. The front.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop you. Is that photograph the same
Yes.
roadways just pulled further
Yes,
back?
yes,
Thank
that's
you.
right.
That's
And
all.
that small opening is the gate where this opens up.
Got it.
And then the gate in the front is shown on the upper right corner. That is how the currently site looks from the front, from Devil's Bypass Road. And then the Alta Mesa Road, how it looks in the current scenario, which also slopes up from Devil's Bypass Road, is shown on the bottom right corner. Here are some internal pictures of the site. Once you enter inside, you can clearly see that there are parking spaces on site to park the white vans, and then the dogs are walked to the dog yards. There's a shed, which is also can be used to rest and to store other things related to the site. And on the right-hand side, are two pictures. One is for the fence playground, and the other is the fence playground A, which is shown on the map. Here you can see the two water tanks and fence playground A. There is also access to non-potable water, which can be used to wash off the artificial turf or any feces or anything that or any dirt which is related with the business. And to the right, there are shows the picture of the site, which shows that it is heavily vegetated with tall trees, and that is why this portion of the lot is not used for the dogs. The dogs will be only kept inside in play yards A and B. And there's a water pump which is also shown on the right-hand side picture. Here are some more pictures of the site and the gates related with the internal play yards. And as you can see, the slopes actually increase as you go down. So this picture here shows the 3 walking route map, which will be used by the business owner to walk the dogs between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the dogs will be supervised and on leash at all times during these walks. The project is exempt from CEQA under section 15303 class 3 related to projects not involving significant amount of hazardous substance and does not include or does not exceed 2,500 square feet in floor area. Recommendations and finding that the zoning hearing officer approved the kennel permit, coastal permit related to PLN 2024-00162 by making the required findings and adopting the conditions of approval included in attachment A of this report. The project was found in compliance with general plan policy. It complies with LCD policy listed here, mainly policy 8.13A and policy 8.15. It is in compliance with RMCT zoning district regulation and was found to be in compliance with kennel veterinary ordinance regulations as well. Staff would like to also share that staff has received 3 communications so far for this project, 2 in support and one communication which were asking some clarification questions that were shared by the staff. Staff also received some late night emails for the project, which was shared with the zoning hearing officer before this meeting. Other than that, I would be happy to take any questions, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much, Sona. So perhaps you could outline in general terms for the public, but what so we've got a couple of letters that have come in stating support for the project and the belief that the site is well run and would be, you know, set to the community. But we've got a number of communications here, or a couple of communications from one member of the public who raises a number of questions. So if you could summarize the issues raised and the responses, that would be helpful.
So some of the issues that were raised were regarding the access to the site from Caltrans right of way. So I wrote to the Caltrans staff member and got the response that anybody can access from Caltrans right of way to their property, and they do not require an encroachment permit to access their own lot. That's point 1. The second point that was raised was regarding vaccination of all the dogs that are there on the site. And staff would like to say that all kennel permits are subject to inspections, yearly inspections, but the applicant is responsible for keeping dogs up to date on vaccination. And as noted by the applicant, they are asking for these vaccinations to be done before enrolling the dogs in the program. So that is something that the applicant will have to do. Other questions that were raised were regarding some previous violations or kind of stated stuff that was done on site with respect to some gravel being placed on the site, but there were some previous communication with code enforcement officer and with the Department of Public Works, and that was not considered as any violation. And Alta Mesa Road and Alta Loma Road are private roads which are not maintained by county. So these were some of the issues that were found. And I would like to also highlight that there are no physical developments proposed with this project. So no construction trucks are expected to come with this application.
So do you know if the county accepted the roads, when the subdivision was approved, or are they, I understand they're not maintaining. They're not improved. So no, it's hard to maintain them if they're not improved. And that's okay if you don't know the answer. It's not really relevant, but it was just curiosity.
Unfortunately, I don't have a actual answer to that, but my understanding is that the county has not accepted the roads, even if there are talks about it, but these roads are private. Only Devil's bypass, Devil's like bypasses Caltrans right away, other roads are called privately maintained roads.
Thank you. See if there's anything else that this person raised that we haven't spoken to yet. Great. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sona.
you, Sona.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions either on the Zoom or here in the room?
We don't have anybody on Zoom
Raising their hand.
raising their hand.
Okay, very good. I have a question for the applicant. Have you read the staff report, and do you agree with the findings and the conditions of approval in the staff report?
Yes, I do. I comply completely.
Okay, good. One question I had, and this is the only real concern I had about this project, and that was the approach to water, the potable water. So we're in the coastal zone, and one of the things that on Coastal Cleanup Day that is picked up most often besides cigarette butts is plastic water bottles. And I'm concerned about, the managing of plastic water bottles, if that's the approach that's planned, is to provide the employees, with water via plastic water bottles and also the dogs.
Yeah.
How do you plan to handle that?
Well, we planned it, we have small water bottles, and then we also have the big, gallon jugs. So, and then we remove them off-site and put them in recycling.
And the small bottles are for the staff.
Yes.
Is there a way to get a potable water tank on site that could, be a source of water for water bottles and reusable water bottles and reusable cups and so on? Is that something that could be done?
May I speak to that?
Who are you?
My name is Maria Ontiveros.
Okay.
I am Clara's
Oh,
mother,
well-
administrative. If you want to, I can speak to that when it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we just do that? Because that was, again, my only question. And as I understood the staff report and findings and conditions of approval, we were going along with the water, or this approach. And there were conditions related to that in the staff report.
So can I speak to the water question as well?
Sure.
So I think I'm not 100% sure, like for the water, drinking water, what will be the process, but, it will take some time for them to actually get it from Montana Water and Sewer District. Or, the process is, I don't know if it is even possible, given the lines and everything that needs to be run for the water, connections for the tanks, like for drinking water. Are you talking about drinking water or?
Yeah, no, you can, what I'm talking about is either, keeping a tank on site and having somebody come and fill it.
Okay.
Or bringing a tank to the site, that's full.
Oh,
And, so that's all. I'm just trying to look for a way to get rid of the water lines. So that's, and thank you for your answer, Sonal. So I'm gonna open the public hearing now. And, Maria Ontiveros has filled out
I think that first the applicant has some things that she would like to say, if that's.
sure, that's fine.
Should I just say here, go up here?
Here's fine. Yeah, that way folks on the Zoom can see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good morning. I just wanted to introduce myself again. I'm Clara Fassinger, and I'm the owner of Marley and Me Animal Services. I want to thank all of you guys for taking your time for being here, and I appreciate everything. And I agree with the staff report, and I think Sonal did a great job putting it all together and presenting it. I agreed to comply with all the conditions at the end of the staff report too. The staff report is thorough and covers everything. I do want to add a few things about myself and my business. I bought Marley and Me Animal Services in 2018. I have been running it primarily as a dog walking business without an established location. I purchased Blue Jay Ranch 2 years ago. This year, I have been trying to work to turn Blue Jay Ranch into a dog care area that can be the base of our walks. Details about the business operation are in the staff report. Prior to purchasing Marley and Me 6 years ago, I worked in the dog care business for 2 years, and I have previously volunteered for 4 years at the Peninsula Humane Society doing dog walking, enrichment, and also working in the kit nursery. During that time, I also volunteered at Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, and doing in the boarding kennel and the whelping kennel, so cleaning the kennels. I also did an internship at Living Free Animal Sanctuary in Mountain Center, California. All of these facilities practice the highest standards of dog care, sanitation, and dog health care. I've learned and I've continued to practice these high standards in my business every single day. I have a certificate from Dog Biz University for dog walking. I also have a Dog Safe Canine First Aid certificate. In addition, both myself and the supervisors of Marley and Me team have taken multiple pet first aid classes at the Peninsula Humane Society. Consistent with all these principles, Marley and Me, all dogs are required to be fully vaccinated, and I have all their vet information. Thank you so much again, and if you have any more questions, I can answer.
No, thank you. Except for if you have anything to add about the water situation.
Yeah, so it's a well, but it's an agriculture well. That's why it's not
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But you don't have potable water
Yeah.
on site, and you're not gonna get it via pipes.
yeah.
I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a question of, is there another way besides plastic water bottles to get it there? That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Maria? So now we're gonna open the public hearing, and we'll hear from Maria Ontiveros.
Hi, my name is Maria Ontiveros. I am.
Can you?
Sorry, of course.
Yeah, just like I said, the folks on Zoom can see you, if you're up here.
Good morning. My name is Maria Ontiveros. I am Clara's mother. And although Clara is the owner of the business and the property, I do provide administrative backup for her as well. I believe the staff report addresses the two main issues with regard to this permit very well. That is the zoning requirements and the dog kennel requirements. With regard to the zoning requirements, as the neighbors and the staff report say, it's appropriate to the area. It doesn't have any negative impacts. It provides a livelihood for Clara and her daughter, who she is a sole support for. And it also provides employment for a number of young women in the local area. Marley and Me is also a productive member of the community. They give out a scholarship to a graduating high school senior every year who wants to go into the animal care business. Marley and Me has participated in the high school job fair and has supported nonprofits such as Sea Hugger, which is very concerned about plastic waste as well. With regard to the dog kennel requirements, as the staff report says, she meets all the requirements. The 7 years of success in running the business with many repeat customers, I think all attest to the level of high quality care that she gives. And by repeat customers, I mean, she's been in the business long enough that sadly, some animals have passed away. And often when the owners then get another dog, they come back to her. She has a waiting list and is in very high demand. The only objections that have been raised are from a person who doesn't live nearby. The adjoining neighbors are all in support of the application. I believe that the staff report answers all the objections well and that they are essentially non-issues. I don't want to amplify them, but I do have additional information if you would like it on the humane treatment, Golden Gate National Recreation Area, and Caltrans access issues. With regard to the well or water, it's my understanding that there's a well on the property, that the only permit that was pulled for it was as an agricultural well, but that it actually qualified to be for the human potable level. But that the person who originally did the well didn't want to go through the added expense of applying for that type of well. At some point, it might be that Clara would apply for that, but that would be something that could be done down the line, depending upon how long it would take and the cost of changing it from an ag well to a potable well. But I think that there are in the in the documents that had to do with permits with regard to this property decades ago, there are documents that show that, you know, that the testing that was done, that it would be at an adequate level to be potable. So I hope that answers that question that you have.
It does partly, and I guess the related question would be, what are the hurdles to converting it to potable? I mean, I understand you have to get testing to demonstrate to Department of Public Health or our
Environmental health.
Environmental health, that you know, they have a number of requirements.
Right.
And I'm not familiar with what they are, how much of a hurdle that is to the business too.
And to be honest, we aren't either. And I think Clara has been, you know, working diligently with planning to get this part, this part of the permit done, raise her child, run the business. That is something I think that is on her agenda in 2025 to look into. But it is really, you know, a matter of cost and figuring out what that is. The Environmental Health and Services guy, Schmitty, who you might know, lives over on the coast. He's been very helpful, and, you know, I think that she'll, you know, at some point in 2025, give him a call and ask about that whole process.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anyone online who would like to raise their hand and offer some public comment? Oh, yes, I see we have a raised hand. Can you explain to them how to provide comment? Oh, 5.
So for those attending in person, there are speakers, and for those attending the meeting on Zoom video conference, we will use the raise hand feature in order to organize any public comment. During the general public comment period and for each item on the regular agenda, I will ask those members of the public who wish to comment to click the raise hand feature to speak on that agenda item. For those joining by phone, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. When you hear your name called, I will prompt you to unmute your microphone and inform you that you may begin speaking. You will have 5 minutes. Please note that members of the public must wait for the prompt in connection with each agenda item before using the raise hand function.
Okay, so we've got the,
We have Jim
Yeah.
Sayre.
so do you need to tell him to unmute or he's muted?
Jim, can you hear us?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, super. Great. So thank you for letting me speak during the public comment session. My name is Jim Sayre. I live in the neighborhood. In fact, my property abuts the Caltrans right-of-way, and directly on the other side of the Caltrans right-of-way is Clara's property. And I'd just like to make a few comments. First of all, is I have a direct view from my home across to Clara's property. The property is really designed and maintained in a way which is conducive to the wilderness area of this part of Montera. The buildings are designed rustically. The paint selection conforms with the overall flora and fauna of the area. So it's actually quite pleasant to look out my window and see the property that Clara maintains in a way which is not offensive to the surrounding wilderness areas. Second thing I'd like to say is Clara's walking routes for the dogs pass through the back of or pass on Linda Vista Road, which is behind my property, and then in front of my road on Alta Vista Road. And her staff is, one, very careful with their animals in terms of making sure that they're on the side of the road, they're safe, they're well contained. But equally, if not more important, the staff is extremely courteous, kind to the neighbors, and really promotes a general positive and warm feeling to the neighborhood. Final thing I'd like to say is this is a remote area of Montera. I would say there are probably less than a dozen neighbors that Clara passes in her walking routes or are adjacent to her property. And as a result, the mere presence of this business provides people, it provides visual oversight to an area where historically there's been a lot of trespassing, there's been vagrancy, there's been a number of things that as a neighbor I'm concerned about, and I personally appreciate, and through conversations with my neighbors, I know that they also are appreciative of the presence of this business to just put some eyes and some bodies to a very remote part of Montera. And that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Is there anyone else, either on Zoom or in the room here, who would like to offer some public testimony on this application?
We don't have any.
Okay, with hearing that, I will close the public hearing. So I appreciate your commitment to look into ways to get rid of plastic water bottles. I'm not gonna make it a requirement at this time, but I do wanna impress on you the importance of, you know, making sure that those bottles don't end up in the landscape, in the watershed, and on the beach. And it sounds like that's something you're already concerned about. So with that, subject pursuant to the findings and subject to the conditions of approval in the staff report, I approve this project. If anyone would like to appeal that decision, they can do so by submitting an appeal to the Planning and Building Department in writing by within 10 business days. And in this case, our
January 3.
deadline is January 3rd. And any appeal would need to be accompanied by a appeal fee that is currently $616.35. Is that gonna hold for any appeals submitted after January 1st? Does the fees go up in January 1st or?
After the first public hearing for ZHL.
Oh, I see. So it's, since this public hearing occurred prior to the fees going up, that fee is still in force and effect. Okay, so having no further business to consider, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, and thank you all for coming and attending via Zoom. And